What people get wrong about Tucson is the size. It is vast, it is wide, it is open. There's large swaths of blue in the sky.
It's culturally brackish. The culture came from the South, like it came up from Mexico.
It's not hard to find the culture and the flavor that we have here, and I think it is like totally unique just because of the indigenous people, the Hispanic people, the Latinx culture, the Anglos. It's like all converging here.
There are powerful Latinx subcultures with a unique heartbeat shaping every city in the U.S. A heartbeat formed by a group of Americanos who are embracing the roots and shaping the future. A long lineage of Latinx artists, chefs, musicians, and creators helping to make their towns a one-of-a-kind place to explore. This is the U.S. through their eyes. Welcome.
I think that people really get a strong impression of the artists when they come here. My name is Lana Romero Dash. I'm an artist and musician here in Tucson, and right now we're at Hotel McCoy. Hotel McCoy opened up a few years ago, and they have murals all over this place. They've given a lot of local artists opportunities to express themselves on the walls here. So I was lucky enough to get this piece by the pool, and then last year did another entryway mural. I just really like putting color and shape together. Yeah, the colors are very Southwest in this one, but that's like hard to escape. There's like several flavors of green, and there's peaches and yellows and a lot of pinks. I've been doodling and drawing like in this style for a long time, and it's just abstract. Yeah, it's easy for me to express myself like this. Growing up in the desert and being surrounded by cactus when you go out to play, there's a certain kind of strength that I think people who are from here gain from that landscape. I definitely resonate with the art that comes from my Latinx culture. Most of what I recognize is folk art. So it's art made by the people, made with the intention of bringing beauty into their everyday lives. Chick Magnet is an arts festival that I started in 2016. We feature different artists, poets, dance performers, musicians to come be part of this full-day event. It's like a showcase for a lot of people in town. I was inspired to create Chick Magnet because I wanted to meet more people who are maybe doing the same things. It was really like a tool to like find my people here in town. My latest album, Snakebite, is a 4-song EP. When you're going through something deeply emotional and you're able to put that into a song, it's this way to transmute those energies and deal with whatever is happening internally. I definitely see art, whether it's visual or musical, as a bridge between our seen and experienced world and the unseen that goes beyond our physical senses. I see it as like a doorway between worlds. So whether it's making physical art or a collage or a mural or a painting, or it's writing a song, I think it's really me trying to connect to something really mysterious.
Tucson, it's a special place. It's a beautiful patch of the desert. This mountain range, they call them Sky Islands. This area is only second to the Amazon in avian diversity. The high desert is something to experience. It's got this unique kind of vibe. This is my front yard. We're hanging out. Mesquite trees like line our streets, like they're literally everywhere. This is a more native mesquite. It's super dense wood. It burns nice and hot, and it really imparts its own flavor. And putting the food over the coals, putting food over the mesquite, really ties us into here to Baja, Arizona. It's a big thing, and yeah, they're everywhere, and I really feel it's like the heartbeat of our restaurant. So generally what we do is like we burn the mesquite over in this corner to like create our coals and then feed over here into like our active grilling area. I grew up here. I'm Irish Mexican. I had friends that were Italian Mexican, French Mexican, German Mexican, Thai Mexican. Regardless of your background, like you grew up eating like tacos dorados. We have a higher affinity for cilantro, lime, chilies. We know what good beans are. Tamales at Christmas, tamales in September. You know, and it's just part of like the culinary culture of our region. Roasting chilies for me, that's like the smell of like walking into like my grandmother's kitchen. The name Tito and Pep, my grandma Dorothy, who was like the first person like I really cooked with, her nearest and dearest was my Aunt Marie. And to entertain her, my grandmother would make up these stories about two girls that were the best of friends. One was a rich girl, one was a poor girl. They would have all these adventures together, and their names were Tito and Pep. My grandmother could cook anything. My Aunt Marie knew how to enjoy a good beverage. So, you know, I really wanted to have a place that was just like welcoming and had great food and drink. And I thought it was like the perfect name for a neighborhood place. Food was very important to my family. I think until I was about 13, I probably grew up eating with like 15 or 20 people a night. For me, like as a kid, I always wanted lengua. It was like one of the first things like I learned how to cook. Our baseline here is like, we just want the food to be yummy. You know, yummy translates across the board, regardless of like where you're coming from.
It takes a long time to get from one place to the other, but that's okay because time is slower here. People are laid back, fun, easygoing. My name is Yvonne Montoya. I'm a dance maker. The dance scene is very vibrant. Because we have this really great weather, you'll find a lot of outdoor spaces activated with performing arts. We are here in Raíces Taller 222 Art Gallery.
We started out 24 years ago. It was created out of a need to have a space where Latinx people could have their work exhibited. It's our duty to be a stepping stone for the next group coming up. That's what it's about.
There was a point in time in the early to mid 2000s where I was the only Latina in, I think, 3 dance companies I was dancing in at the time. So I said, I need to change this because I was frustrated at the fact that I wasn't seeing my communities, my stories, my music, my aesthetics represented on stage. So in 2009, I started my dance company with the mission to create spaces for Latinx dance makers to come together. We are here at Tucson Mountain Park, a really expansive park on the west side of Tucson. I have a few projects cooking right now. I'm working on Dance in the Desert, which is an initiative I started in 2017. I'm also debuting a new piece called Stories from Home at the Kennedy Center in September. If you want to, you could take a step stage left. All right. Stories from Home is inspired by my family's oral histories. Every dance is grounded in a story that is not a common historical narrative or a common narrative that you see or hear of in dance or in the art scene or in concert dance spaces. So for example, I did a piece called Braceros. Just start immediately, yeah. That was about my father's time as a migrant farm worker picking watermelon and cantaloupe in Yuma in the 1960s as a child laborer. He was definitely a storyteller. He loved to tell stories. Sometimes you didn't know if it was true or if they were very embellished. Once he had passed, I was like, how do I continue this very specific oral tradition that exists and is very rich here in this geography? How do I do that in a way that is true to me in my art form?
The roots of the culture are closely tied to Mexico, and like, you know, our relationship with the border area.
People come here that have never been here and feel this like really deep connection to the desert. Like they feel really like touched by this place.
Tucson is Latinx. It's retained a lot of its Mexicanness. I believe that that's at the heart of the community here.
The people from Tucson are very proud of being from Tucson.